Hello, guys. Good evening. Happy Veterans Day to my fellow veterans. I served from '06 to 2010. I was deployed in Operation Iraqi Freedom from November 7th, no, November 27th, 2007 to the end of January 2009. And we were the first deployment through that were supposed to serve 15 months, and I think we ended up serving between the transition of leaving the States and coming back a total of like 15 and a half with the commuting forth and packing up. Veterans Day is a day to honor veterans that have served, veterans that are serving, and the victims that have been affected by war in general. It was put in place right at the end of World War One, and what it means to me is a day for to to reflect on the things that people have sacrificed to help me get to where I'm at today, the things that I have sacrificed to help other people get where they're at today, and the freedoms and stuff that we have that we so abundantly take for granted every single day, and the men and women that constantly give up their freedoms and their life to continue to allow me to live the life that I live today. And I will always be grateful for that. Um, I'm going to go out and have a nice dinner tonight, and then I'm going to pick up with my 5 day fasting tomorrow. I do some nice dinner tonight, and then I'm going to pick up with my 5 day fasting tomorrow. I do celebrate veteran holidays just for the simple fact that I am a veteran. I come very close many times to almost losing my life in a war zone, and the things that I've had to endure to to get through some of the situations that I was in is it's very very scary. And knowing the things that I went through when I was deployed, and the things that I seen, and how the people before me had it 10 times worse than I did, boggles my mind. I remember sitting at home talking with my best friend Christopher Licardi at the time, and his father Gene Licardi, re or playing the thoughts. You're very welcome. He would play the things out. He would converse with me about his nightmares that he would have about Vietnam, and how they were positioned on a hill, and they were trying to take over an OP, and they were pinned down, and there was no other way to go. They were surrounded, and the FO, basically the fire support officer, um, had to call for fire on their very position, and that was my job in the military. And he said we had to literally have our fire support specialist call for incoming artillery strikes, airstrikes on our position, just meters away from where we were at, because we were about to get overrun. And knowing that you could make one simple mistake, knowing that you could just make one miscoordinate, a little bit of extra wind could come through and push rounds the wrong way, knowing that something small and very minute could change and happen during that transaction of calling rounds, live rounds in on your own position, could kill everybody in your entire platoon. But that's the only option you had at the time, or else you were going to die anyway. And he said we called in the rounds, and we hunkered down. We pulled ourselves all together real close, and it was close. He said there's shrapnel and dirt and debris and everything else flying over our head, just showering the ground everywhere. And we almost had to literally potentially kill people in our platoon just to get the enemy away from us. To think of the things that these people had to go through, to think of the sacrifice and the service that they had to give. And when you take your life to a completely different level of, I'm ready to die for other people. I'm ready to die for the cause that I came here for. I'm ready to give my life up for somebody else's freedom. You gotta have respect for that. How can you not? That's somebody else that's willing to give up everything, fighting for what they believe in. We've lost that. We've lost a lot of that in our life today, but what it means to me is giving the most respect to male, female, whatever it is that you are, whatever it is that you call yourself. If you're fighting for my freedom and the ability for me to keep living my life like I am today, you mean something to me. Those who are serving, who have served and continue to serve, and the people that support those who serve, the families right along with them, have to go through so much just to allow them to do their job. I remember seeing soldiers in the middle of Iraq get calls from their loved ones. I remember one guy, he had served about 10 years in the National Guard, and he had got a phone call on Skype, and he went into a little private room, and his wife was talking to him, and she said, I gave up 10 years of you missing the family in the National Guard, and now you're active duty, and you're going to be gone another 15 months. I can't keep doing this. I'm seeing somebody else. I'm living my life. The kids, they need to live their life. They need to have a role model here for them. I cannot keep supporting you leaving and volunteering and signing up for these missions and stuff, and you're just never in the family's life. To see that man break down the way he did and how his whole life just fell apart, but yet continued to do the job, knowing that he had to do his job. I have so much respect for that man. People that go through this type of stuff that other people don't even realize. You can never put yourself in somebody's shoes that has to go through something like that, knowing that they're so many thousands of miles away from their own family, not knowing if they're even going to make it home. Most people could never even fathom or wrap their mind around that. Did you know how many people, when we were deployed, would purposely try to hurt themselves so they could come back home? They would literally go into the porta-johns, and one guy shot himself in the leg just because he was so homesick and he was afraid he was going to die over there. He was going to get hurt. He didn't think he could make it. They sent him to the aid station. They pulled the bullet out of his leg. They sewed him back up, cleaned him up, and said, get back to work. You ain't going home. Could you imagine what was going through that guy's head to get him to the point where he was at, yet he still finished his mission? He still continued on and recovered from making a bad choice. He still fought for somebody else's freedom and whatever else it was, and he's still in the military today. 12 years later, he's still in the military today. He turned a new leaf, and he decided to make it a career. Because you just wake up, it turned you into somebody that you want to be respected for. There are some people that fall by the wayside, but we're supposed to pick them up and we're supposed to help them along. But it just means to me, Veterans Day means to me what I think it should mean to almost anybody. When somebody else is fighting for your freedom, for your right to live your life the way you want to live your life, and they're giving up everything, potentially knowing that they may not make it home, or they're the support for the people that are getting deployed, or they're the support for the people that are putting their family through hell while they're going through 30, 40, 60, 90-day field rotations. I spent 40 days in the field training in the swamp, away from civilization, away from food, just only soldiers and stuff like that. That was my first taste of what it was like to actually suck it up and do my duty. Not have a shower for 2, 3, 4 weeks on end while being deployed. Coming back with my clothes sticking to my skin and my pores just packed full of sweat and grime and grit and everything else, feeling like needles are poking through my skin because I haven't showered in weeks, because I've been living out of MREs, not knowing when is the next time I'm actually going to get a good shower or a good meal. You gotta have respect for people like that. And there are people that have had it way, way, way worse than that. I'm blessed that I had it as easy as I did. And I didn't even have it easy. But I'm really blessed that I had it easy as I did. So thank you guys. Thank you for all those of you that are serving out there, that have served. Thank you to the families that support those who serve and have in the past supported those who serve. And I appreciate you. Thank you for giving me the freedom that I have today. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Happy Veterans Day. Take care, guys. Be blessed.